and this is what I want to get into this with this border detention, is that a lot of these lefties are hounding conservatives because we're getting upset with the fact that border detention centers look stocked with baby formula despite the shortage. They're getting stockpiles of this stuff, literally pallets full of baby formula. They're being served. They're able to feed their children, but Americans aren't able to feed theirs. And this is going to be an interesting story I want to cover because a lot of you know I'm America first. A lot of you know I'm not in support of what's taking place at the U.S.-Mexico border, but I think my answer that I'm covering here is going to surprise a lot of you. But this whole stuff that's taking place is one reason the fault of Joe Biden, because he's the one that's allowing this whole immigration crisis to take place. But as I always say, according to Jen Psaki, this is just a challenge, not a crisis, folks. It says, as American families deal with a shortage of baby formula across the U.S., a Florida Republican lawmaker has released images of dozens of boxes of coveted product at the migrant processing facility near the U.S.-Mexico border. Representative here shared pictures of pallets of infant formula at the migrant processing center in McAllen, Texas, on her Twitter and Facebook pages, and this is making its rounds all across the outlets today. It says, quote, the first photo is from this morning, and it talks about the shelves are packed with baby formula, and then the one is going to talk about what she's showing here in the United States. So I just want to scroll down here to the photos here that she supplied. This is all baby formula, folks. These are not what our shelves look like, but this is what they look like at the detention centers. And then if we go down, this is more of what's being showed there at the U.S.-Mexico border. Not all of this that's on the screen here is the baby formula, just pretty much that middle row. Everything else is that go-go yogurt stuff that the kids eat. But here's another pallet full. Now, I don't know here if this pallet was being pictured, right? And then they took out what was in the pallet and then put them up here on the shelf, right? That could have absolutely been done, where it looks way worse than really it is, where it's like, holy crap, that's stockpiled, and you got another pallet full of this stuff, and it's just sitting there already not unloaded yet. That could be taking place. So there's not a ton of information here as far as, you know, its appearance. It may look worse than what it is. The PR is definitely not looking good for the Biden administration. It says, in a video posted to Facebook, Kamak noted that while immigrant children deserve to be fed, the stockpiling was just another example of America Last agenda. This I agree with, is the Democrat Party will always put other people first than Americans. 100%. There's a whole issue going on right now with Congress pushing through a $40 billion package for Ukraine, but at the same time delaying a meeting to address this exact issue of the baby formula shortage for 2 weeks. Do you think their priorities are straight, folks? I don't think so. But the Democrat Party runs the House. The Democrat Party runs the Senate. The Democrat Party also runs the executive branch. So they're the ones to blame here. Joe Biden created this issue at the U.S.-Mexico border. Nobody would say, we don't think that these babies at the U.S.-Mexico border should be fed, because that's what the left is pushing here. They're saying, well, because the right is upset at what's going on here, oh, you guys don't think that these babies should be fed? Nobody's saying that. These are not the baby's fault. It's not the children's fault that got brought to the border. It's the parents' fault. It's Joe Biden's fault for keeping open borders. Now, no, it's not open borders. It basically is open borders. When you have over 200,000 people coming through the U.S.-Mexico border every single month, it is open borders, just massive influxes of people. So again, I think they should be fed. I don't think we should cut off the supply going to the U.S.-Mexico border, just saying, oh, well, screw infants, we shouldn't feed them. We need to feed them. The image looks terrible for the Biden administration, because when you have American mothers not able to feed their American children, that is a massive, massive issue. But then at the same time, you're just giving pallets full of formula to people at the southern border that need it as well. And you're obviously not going to say, well, I'm going to make your child go hungry. So it's a very shitty situation, folks, and it does not look good for the Biden administration. Again, if he would have been strict on this, you wouldn't have this issue in the first place. That's the thing. You wouldn't have this massive issue with having to bring in pallets and pallets full of baby formula and then, making it look bad on yourself. Well, it says, according to her office, the agent that supplied these photos did not provide any detail on the frequency of the shipments, but did note that the pallets pictured were just a few of what had been received Wednesday morning. That's a lot of baby formula, folks. If he's being truthful, these pallets, right, are usually 4 feet by 4 feet, give or take. as far as, around the square. I don't even know how tall this is, but I've seen pallets up, taller than I am, upwards of 8-9 feet high. So who knows how big these are and how much baby formula is being thrown here at the border. It says here, quote, he, as a Border Patrol agent, just took in pallets of baby formula for all of the illegals that are crossing the United States. Border Patrol resources across the southern border of the U.S. are stocked with infant formula. Brandon Judd, the president of the union that represents the Border Patrol agents, told the Post. Quote, if the Biden administration was not encouraging vulnerable women and children to put themselves in the hands of dangerous cartels by incentivizing illegal immigration through the catch and release program, then the formula that is currently overstocked at the Border Patrol facilities could go on the shelves, basically the grocery stores is what they're saying, or at least creating some sort of, I don't want to say shelters, but some sort of area that could be brought up in these cities where if your child is truly starving, that you can go pick this up. But we're having to send it to other people that aren't Americans, meaning our tax dollars are at work here paying for somebody else's child to be fed when we can't even feed our own children here in the United States. But, they're going to blame, the left is going to blame it on capitalism. That's at least the stuff that I've been reading on Twitter, on people's Facebook feeds, all this stuff here, when it's like, it's not necessarily due to capitalism itself. You also have the government itself restricting the suppliers that are creating this formula. And we just went over the top 3 as to why they are restricted. But that's also a governmental issue as well, creating barriers to entry to create more competition within the market, which would obviously drive down the cost as well. A lot of people are complaining that baby formula is so expensive. Yes, it's due to inflation, which again is Joe Biden's fault, but there's also many other reasons as to why, which is demand and supply. So there you have it, folks. Illegal immigrants getting all this food here at the U.S.-Mexico border. We're not done yet, though. I don't know about you, but if I'm a mother anywhere, anytime in America, and I go to a local Walmart, Target, or Publix, or Safeway, or Kroger, or whatever, it may be that you shop and you are seeing their shelves and you are seeing signs that you are not able to get baby formula. And then you see an American government sending by the pallet thousands and thousands of containers of baby formula to the border. That would make my blood boil. It was not immediately clear how many containers the border facility had received as of Thursday. This is one facility, folks. It makes you wonder how many other facilities are receiving these pallets upon pallets. In a statement, Texas Republican Greg Abbott said Biden had turned a blind eye to parents across America who are facing the nightmare of a nationwide baby formula. It's not just Biden; it's literally Congress themselves. Like I said, they delayed their meeting by 2 weeks. They don't take this serious, folks. They don't take any of this serious. This baby formula shortage. They only care about taking care of everybody else, taking care of Ukraine, taking care of illegal immigrants, taking care of Cuban immigrants, taking care of Haitian immigrants, whoever it is. It's always everybody else other than America first. And that's why everybody loved Trump. That's why Trump was the most successful Republican in history, because he put America first. We didn't have these issues. Everything you look around, we didn't have any of these issues when Trump was president. But yet when you get the Democrats running in office like Jimmy Carter, when you get Democrats running in office today like Joe Biden, when you get Democrats in office, this is the type of stuff that you get. This isn't anything new. We've seen it before. And consistently with Democrats, they don't know how to run the country. They don't take things seriously. But they say on the microphone, like Nancy Pelosi, oh, it's dinner table issues. This is what we take serious. Okay, well then dinner table issues you're not fixing, right? You got gas prices up. But Joe Biden literally is taking away, not pipelines, but he's taking away the permits, the access to creating more oil. That was just effective today as well. Oh, we did take a table talk more serious. You got the baby formula stuff, but we're going to delay the meeting by 2 weeks. They're not taking the stuff serious at all, folks, right? They take none of this stuff seriously, because if they did, there'd be answers to all this. And I'm not even saying that you need government intervention on this stuff, because again, some of this stuff is out of the government's hands. But when you're going to sit there and say one thing on the mic, but then you're going to do another, that's what makes my blood boil. That makes and rubs me the wrong way. In the same way that now you're having pallets full of formula being taken to the U.S.-Mexico border, but American children are not able to be fed, poses a big issue as well. And that is a dilemma. Again, folks, I'm not saying they shouldn't be fed. They 100% should. And I think everybody that watches the show would agree with that. It's not a good look. It should piss you off. It should piss all of us off, and let's hope that the Biden administration gets their act together on this stuff and creates a solution to some of this, whether that's changing the FDA requirements so we can import more formula from the European Union, lowering that 17.5% down quite a bit so that we can, again, import more. Why don't you change the barriers to entry into the industry so that more people can develop the formula themselves, create a business there, drive the cost of prices down so that we don't have this issue again. It's very similar to the chip issue. You got Taiwan, that's predominantly the builder and creator of semiconductors, and US is going, oh shoot, well, you're only building that in one place. There's a really not a great big barrier to entry into that industry. Shoot, we should start producing that in the United States as well, so we don't have this global supply chain issue again. So I don't want to go any further than this. I think we went over the 3 reasons as to why this is taking place. And also you have illegal immigrants able to feed their children at the US-Mexico border, while you and others who watch the show and many Americans aren't able to feed their children here in America. Folks, let me know what you think about this below. Do you think those are the only 3 or 4 reasons that are sufficient, or do you think this is clearly just all Joe Biden's fault? I personally don't. I think there's many reasons to this complicated shenanigans that is taking place here in some weird ass times that we're living in. But folks, as always, leave me a comment below. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And something that I'm hearing, a little bit of rumors here, I'm hearing YouTube wants us to share the videos. So again, I heard that from Steven Crowder today. He's usually in the know-how on how YouTube works in their algorithm. He's saying now that you need to share the video for YouTube to promote it and push it out there. I don't know if that's true, but as always, folks, I say do it anyways. It really does help support the show. And with that being said, I will see you later here on The Paul Brad Show.